The month of October brings us two big interviews. Join WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas Friday, October the 19th, and Oscar for Men on a Mission Wednesday night, October the 24th, at MWF Studios in Melrose, Massachusetts for a television taping of our acclaimed series, Memories and Legends. Hundreds of thousands of fans from around the world have enjoyed our shoots, and we want you to join the fun live. Admission to the tapings is free, but at the same time, we need fan support to help make these productions happen. Visit BostonWrestling.com and use the link below to explore the Indiegogo campaign we have ongoing to fund these expensive productions for fans to enjoy for decades to come. Tony and Oscar will be available for autographs and pose photos the night of the tapings for a moderate fee. Time permitting, we're looking to have a Q&A with the fans. Again, no purchase required. We want fans to come out and enjoy themselves and our ongoing efforts to give you the best value and experiences in professional wrestling. At the same time, your support goes a long way in helping bring Memories and Legends to life. Hear from the Hall of Famer Tony Atlas himself why it's important for fans locally and around the globe to help support our in-studio shoot interview tapings.
I think if we're able to ever get to a certain point with the assistance of the fans, Tony, I'm sure you'd be happy to come down every week if we could make it happen.
Yes, I would. And first, I would like to thank you, Dan, and Boston Wrestling, because one thing that a lot of fans seem to forget, we ain't going to be around forever. I mean, when I look back on guys that I sat and talked to just last year alone, I mean, just about every year we lose 2 or 3 wrestlers. Vader, yep. Ronnie Piper. You know, in 2010, I lost my best friend, S.D. Jones. So there's very few. Me and our Brutus the Barber Beefcake were talking 2 weeks ago, and we're always so happy to see each other because there's very few of us is left. You know, it just seemed like yesterday that I was in Legend House, WWE Legend House, with Rotten and Ronnie Piper. And now Piper is not around anymore to tell his story. He's not around anymore to sign autographs. He's not around anymore to meet and greet the fan. So thanks to the good work of Boston Wrestling and Dan Morella here, you know, you're able to see, you know, us, you know, and it would not be possible. I mean, Tony Atlas would be probably forgotten about if it wasn't for Boston Wrestling.
I don't know if I'd go that far, Tony.
Well,
you're a two-time
you know,
Hall
out
of
of sight, out of mind. But
right.
I mean, people are able to tune in to Boston Wrestling. They're able to hear some of the old stories that a lot of the guys, like some of the stories I tell, the rest of the day, they was babies. Just like Roma Rage. You know, his father,
you wrestled his father,
yeah, Seeker, one of the Wild Samoan Seekers, was traveling up and down the road with us, and way before Roma Reigns was even born. You know, and like The Rock, you know, I used to sit in the dressing room and babysit Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, with me and his father. You know, we was on tour together. I remember he was a kid. But, you know, a lot of us, like me, Rock and Johnson, you know, we get up in age, so it makes us feel good that we could come to a program like this where people can hear about the way wrestling were back in our day. Kind of like if you get out here, the Rolling Stones to sit here to tell music fans how it was to travel in the days when the Rolling Stones first started their career and when they first did things. So it's a great history lesson of pro wrestling and athletes. So once again, thank you, Dan, and thank you, Boston Wrestling, for giving us the opportunity to tell our stories.
I appreciate that an awful lot, more than you know, Tony. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Tony, Mr. USA Atlas. How y'all doing out there?
Before we get to the news, some topics of discussion, check out some offers from our great friends. We'll be right back.
Are you part of a nonprofit organization, a youth group looking to raise cash for your cause? Stay tuned at the end of this video to learn how you can bring the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation to your town live, featuring the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Infinity Key, a truly natural online language training experience. 25,000 minutes. That's what you'll need to invest. Invest 25,000 minutes with Infinity Key, and we'll build you a portfolio of language experiences designed to accelerate your personal progress. The coach will help you strike the right balance between passive acquisition and active application of your target language. InvestKey's algorithms and coaches guide you along the clearest, quickest path forward on your journey to fluency. Visit www.infinitykey.rocks for more information and follow Infinity Key on Facebook at facebook.com/InfinityKey.
St. Charles on Thursday, October 11th. Feel the thrill of NXT Live with some of the hottest NXT superstars up close and in action. See Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Shayna Baszler, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, EC3, and many more live. Don't miss the show that everyone's talking about. It's NXT Live in St. Charles on Thursday, October 11th. Tickets are available.
Wrestling fans, check out our friends at Performa's state-of-the-art WWE Superstar and Legends Shaker Cups. They're 100% leak-free and shatter-resistant, guaranteed. Mix your powder using Performa's patented action rod technology. Check out new superstars just added to the collection at performabrand.com. I've had one on my desk every day since testing it out. Select your favorite WWE shaker. You'll be using yours every day, too.
Boston on Sunday, October 21st. It's the WWE Live Super Show with your favorite superstars from both Raw and SmackDown Live under one roof. See Roman Reigns collide with Braun Strowman in a thrilling main event. And AJ Styles takes on Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and The Miz in a fatal four-way match for the WWE Championship. Plus, Ronda Rousey will be live in action as she battles Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Don't miss the WWE Live Super Show, Sunday, October 21st. Tickets and VIP packages are available Friday, August 24th.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to a special installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Jim Marati, joined by longtime Millennium Wrestling Federation associate, Mr. Dave Carter, finally coming from behind the scenes in front of the cameras.
That's right, I'm here.
Tinderandmatch.com are pleased to see you.
Oh, yes, they are.
Got a lot going on here in the MWF. We want to remind you, Friday night, October the 19th, he's back. The WWE Hall of Famer, a man that is probably now surpassed the Iron Sheik in the number of visits here to the studio. We're looking forward to Tony. The Memories and Legends series, the response has been phenomenal. I can't think of an episode that doesn't have more than a 90% feedback rate, which is great. It's nice to know that people enjoy the episodes with Tony. They're not always interviews. Sometimes they turn into an adventure as they go off topic real quick. In honor of WWE pay-per-view weekends, we bring you a new episode with each one. WWE has Super Showdown from Melbourne, Australia this Saturday, 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time. Well, Friday morning here in Boston, over on our YouTube channel and on bostonwrestling.com, a new episode, just about an hour and a half long, where Tony takes a page out of Cecil the Lion's good friend Gary Michael Capetta's book, a little petting going on, when Tony shoots on George the Animal Steele, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and Bobby the Brain Heenan, three great legends. I was really surprised by Tony's responses. One of those three men, he buried. Brutal. People say I can be bad. Tony was bad. It's worth watching.
When is this?
It's available to fans around the corner and around the world Friday morning at 9 a.m.
I'll be making sure I check it out because I don't even know. He hasn't told me anything either.
Well, see, the way I like to do it with Tony is we never talk about the topics before we go.
Okay.
His responses to everything are always organic and as natural as they can come.
So he can't.
And
think
there
of
isn't
an
much
answer.
of a filter with them. So that's what makes it so much fun. We're going to have him back October the 19th. And believe it or not, I know the ticket scalpers don't like it, but free admission to come on down and see Mr. USA Tony Atlas. For complete information, head on over to bostonwrestling.com.
You can't beat that.
Cure is done. We have a couple of bundles left on eBay. If you want to help those poor kids out, maybe we'll put a link in the comment section below. Click the link, get some great merchandise, like our good friends at performabrand.com, the people that have kept me so hydrated since sending me my great Seth Rollins cup. They have a wide variety of current superstars and legends over at performabrand.com. But we got two great bundles left. Let's send a little more money over to Connor's Cure to do a world of good and get some great merchandise in return.
Sounds good. Everybody should sign up. It's a great cause. It's definitely worth it. If you go on eBay and you look at what you get with it, you're helping out a good cause, plus you're getting all this great merchandise. It's definitely worth it. I recommend it.
Well, I tell you this, the details haven't been finalized yet, but we're also hoping by the end of the month, a man you regard as one of the finest managers in the history of professional wrestling, Oscar from Men on a Mission, may be making his return here to MWF Studios. The vice president of the Millennium Wrestling Federation, along with Dreamy Mimi. So A lot to look forward to in the month of
Definitely.
October, along with some great playoff baseball.
Well, let me ask you something. Will he be doing a rap for you?
We can only hope.
Okay.
We can only hope.
That's the biggest thing is the rap.
Well, join 50,000 plus friends on Twitter at MWF Project X for the latest on Oscar's return. Please. On to the news. It's been a big week in the world of professional wrestling.
Yes, it has. The headlines. All right. The first one I seen was Saudi Arabia. When WWE goes back in April, Saudi Arabia wants The Rock, and they offered him $20 million. I don't know how you feel about that. Do you think The Rock would do it?
You know, I didn't hear anything about this until you first mentioned it when you walked in today. If they're going to offer him that much money, I could not see any, other than the movie studios worry about insurance and things like that for him getting injured and not being able to do a film. Why on earth wouldn't he want to do it? He's not going to make that much for WrestleMania.
Well, that's the way I looked at it, too. I mean, it's just a one-time show, $20 million. Are you kidding me? I was like, you got to take this, right?
And for Saudi Arabia, it's a good deal because it makes them look good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing I seen just on top of that. It's also rumored that, I don't know if you see any of this, but I haven't read anything about WrestleMania 35, but they're saying that match is going to be Roman versus The Rock. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
I don't know if it was you I said it to. I don't even know if it was on this show. But funny enough, I remember last September around my birthday, I went out for dinner. I had little Marathi with me, and I said, do you want to know the top few matches for WrestleMania next year? Because I knew them, and they wound up being what they were.
Right.
I haven't heard anything about next year's WrestleMania.
Okay.
Roman and The Rock, it'd be an interesting match.
It definitely would be, and I just, I don't know, I was reading it, and it was just something that I was reading, and I just wanted to throw it by there with this.
If I was WWE and there was that much money available towards The Rock, I would spread the wealth a little bit and make sure it was not just for Saudi Arabia, but it was for a few shows. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I totally
Get him in
agree.
for a Rumble, Mania, whatever they're going to call that Saudi April show. You know, get some real value out of it because The Rock, I'm not the biggest Rock fan in the world. I don't enjoy the humor all that much. Wrestling is fine for what it is. There's nothing overwhelmingly good about it. But, you know, the fans like him, and that's what counts the most. The more you have that face on your television program, the more it gives you that credibility. With the money starting in September of next year, 2019, that Fox and USA are going to pay, you need that credibility. And again, Rock would, I think, bring credibility to Saudi Arabia. But I'd like to see more of them than just for that one show, especially at that price tag, if it's true. I'm floored by it.
Oh,
if
my
it
God.
was a quarter of it for one show, I'd be floored.
Right?
But
it's unbelievable.
It's a new ball game. The government wants the WWE.
And just throw it, why not try to get Stone Cold then for that kind of money? Because, I mean, man, imagine that.
I know you and I would rather see
Oh,
him,
I
but
would oh, my God.
You got to look at it from the government's point of view. We like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler. They're looking at one of Hollywood's
The relevant,
big
yeah.
guys right
I get
now.
you.
So I could see them wanting to throw more money at The
Right.
Rock. As far as it being of interest to wrestling fans, I think Stone Cold's return would generate a lot of money and a lot of interest and a lot of eyeballs, especially on the TV
subscribers
shows.
too. If
Yeah,
that was it,
yeah.
oh man. Just while we're on the WrestleMania topic, I just seen this out there too. There's rumored to be WrestleMania 36 is going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't know if you've seen that.
Minneapolis and Philadelphia were both losers in the bidding process over in the past recent years. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was
And they got the new
Minneapolis.
stadium over there.
It's a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
I know our good friend Larry the Axe Henning, his grandson played in a game last winter there with one of the high school championships.
okay.
And they really, the Hennings told me what a nice place it is. And I tell you, I got stranded in Minneapolis twice in the course of 1 week, going to Cauliflower Alley Club and back from Cauliflower Alley Club. And what a nice, friendly city. I would really like it to be in Minneapolis, other than the fact it's not going to be the warmest destination.
I was just going to say to you, is it an easy access? Because you know how we travel for WrestleMania every year. I didn't know, is it an easy venue to get to?
Yeah. I
It is?
mean, Minneapolis, to me, reminded me of a big, small town.
Okay.
It had a nice little subway system. I don't know what they call it, like we have the MBTA here. They got that big, giant mall. They're just friendly people, nice people. It's a spacious area. The traffic wasn't overwhelming from what I saw. I was there only, the 2 nights that I got
Right.
stranded. But I like to go around, and during my tour de force with WWE back in 2000, 2001, I was in Minneapolis once, but, most of those times you really don't see much other than you fly into the airport, get your bag, check into the hotel, go to the arena, and then find a place to eat. It's not like I had time to tour. I was disappointed. Back-to-back Fridays, neither one of them had the Twins home. They were away both times. I would have liked to have checked out the baseball stadium.
Oh, yeah.
It gives me another reason to go back, I guess.
All right, and then moving on, Neville. He's finally after being a year off TV, he's finally back with Dragon Gate. I've seen him. He looks great. I think WWE missed the boat on him. I think he was fantastic when he was there, but Dragon Gate, he just debuted again on TV again. So, I mean, how do you feel? Do you think WWE missed the boat on him?
Missed the boat? Well, they made him the centerpiece of a completely new, I don't want to say promotion, but a completely new brand, the 205 Live. They made him the centerpiece of it. And the brand itself was pretty flat. And I still think it's pretty flat. There isn't enough going on there to make me want to tune in to 205 Live. I don't know the details of what he was happy about, what he wasn't happy about. He was the champion. He was the featured guy. Unlike the cruiserweights now, he was on a lot of the house shows, so he was getting the house show paydays. I know some of the 205 Live cruiserweight contracts are different than the atypical WWE contract. I know he had a WWE contract, so that was much more lucrative for him to have that as opposed to what some of the other cruiserweights got, which were not even six figures when they signed that. So they were pretty low. But you know what? If he's not happy, he's not happy. You only live one time. I'm going to guess where he was so reluctant to go out and rush back into wrestling once he was able to, he must have saved his money to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what? It's a time now where there is good money out there on the independents and in these promotions for ex-WWE talent. I disagree with a lot of people that say wrestling is this great healthy thing right now. There are some good things about wrestling right now, and there are some things that are staring people right in the eye that they don't consider. But independent wrestling is one thing that has really seen a boom and an increase thanks to the popularity of NXT. And for someone like Neville that had that national exposure, never mind national, worldwide exposure on WWE television, you know, he's someone that can make several $1,000s a week without having to be under contract to WWE.
And you get the freedom.
Right. He can choose to go to Impact. He could go to Ring of Honor. I don't know if Ring of Honor would have the money to sign someone like Neville, but or Pac, as he calls himself now, right? You know, Lucha Underground, that's kind of a unique promotion. If you could bring someone in for
And I think he'd be great for that because of the way his style of wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've actually seen a picture of him. He is chiseled. He looks good. Like, I could see him as like a Viking-esque or something like that, like costume. Like, did you know how the Lucha is with all the mat? He would look great. I think he would be a perfect fit for that.
I enjoyed Neville. I think he was over because my litmus test is always Baby Marathi. Like Neville, and he was huge on Neville when he first started.
So there you go.
It just seemed like towards the end, and maybe it was because of the presentation, maybe it was because of thoughts going on in his head. Nothing wrong with what he was doing, but it seemed like for him he was just going through the motions. Right. And to me, that's usually the sign it's time to move on.
And to move on, like we're saying, Punish Martinez. I know you say you don't watch a lot of ROH. Have you ever seen him? Well, he's a big dude. He's got a cool look.
I'm familiar with who he is. I've never seen him in a match.
He's getting really good. He was their television champion, but he dropped the title, and he didn't renew his contract with ROH, so which making him a free agent. And I'm thinking WWE is definitely going to take a look at him. He's definitely worth taking a look at.
I don't remember who it was that buzzed me, but I think if he hasn't already signed an NXT type deal, he's going to be really, really, really.
Well, that's the thing is when I
know nothing about him. The one thing that surprised me was that he wasn't really all that young.
No, he isn't. No.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, this surprised me a lot, is you know who Adam Page is, Hangman Page?
Fantastic.
He turned down the contract. The WWE offered him a contract, and he turned it down this week.
I don't know how much it was for.
But
they could have insulted him.
But still, to turn down a contract in WWE, it surprised me. And where I was getting with that is that's something that the Bucks, Cody could do too. Omega, like turn it down because they're still sticking together with the the Bullet Club and everything.
Well, I'm not sure what the dates are as far as
January 1st. I watched an interview
with
Cody. For Cody and the Bucks.
Well, I'm talking about for all of them.
Well, Cody and the Bucks is January 1st. He talked about it in an interview this week. I seen it. And he also said, with that, he said, you never know. We could be in WWE by the end of this year.
Well, I'm fairly certain that Omega is at least through the end of January.
Yeah, he didn't talk about him. He just said the Bucks and himself.
Okay. Well, obviously, they're worth more together than they are separately.
Right.
Is that faction going to succeed in WWE is the interesting question to me. I can't see them getting behind the Young Bucks.
Here's the thing.
I cannot see it.
Right. I know we argued about Matt Hardy. You ended up being right with the delete. But I think with this, the Bullet Club, and they do it right. Please, WWE, do it right.
What is doing it right?
Just do what they do in the indies. Do what they do. Let them do
But
their...
sometimes there are things that work well on the independents that don't work well in WWE.
Right, but I think there's a majority of the fans now with WWE, because remember, their ratings are getting lower and lower, and the fans that are watching are just, you know, the diehard fans. And the diehard fans, a lot of them are probably Bucks and Cody fans and Omega fans, and if they can just let them do the thing, yeah, WWE has to tweak it, I understand that, but let them stay on their page, I think it will succeed.
I look at them as a group of incredible talent. I don't understand why, especially on their own platforms with their YouTube shows and whatnot, they choose to present themselves that way. I don't think it's good for guys that have as much talent as they have to be laughed at. Laugh with them, sure. Two different things. I think that is not something that's going to have a lot of longevity to it. I think a lot like, I don't know if it was you I had the conversation with, but a lot like ECW, this comedy wrestling right now is going to have its run, which it's in the middle of right now. And to be fair, as much as I don't like it, there has been some success with it. I just don't think it's something that's going to last long term. I don't think people want to watch simulated violence to laugh at some of the nonsense skits that they do. Are they great talents? I'm not taking anything away from their ability, because all five of those guys could go. I'd love to work with them.
When I watch the Young Bucks and Cody say, I don't just watch it as what you're saying, a comedy. I watch it, it's more like a show. It's like a, you know, spectacle, because they wrestle, but they also include the audience. And a lot of the audience likes that. And what is WWE's fans?
They do.
And what has the WWE fans been doing? They take over matches when they're not satisfied. And it's the truth. They start chanting stuff. They start yelling stuff. I think at least with the Bucks, with that aspect of them including the audience, you know, when they do their super kick party and all that stuff, I think the fans will like it. That's me.
Who is Roman Reigns going to sell for them? I mean, they look like two.
But that's the thing is, they don't need to wrestle Roman Reigns. They can wrestle other guys. They're not going to.
They don't have much of a tag team division.
Well, they have a lot of tag teams. They just have a problem getting them over.
But I mean, even if you put them in there with guys like the Usos and New Day, they're really tiny guys.
See, I think that's a bad choice.
Their perfect fit would be.
I think the Usos and the Bucks would be a great tag team match.
I just think it doesn't look believable to me, where they're so little.
Yeah, but you can say that about a lot of wrestlers.
And they're great talents.
You said,
they're great talents, and the fans like them. I can't take that away from them. It's just, to me, what they do is not believable. It's too fast. There isn't enough selling in it. There isn't enough professional wrestling out in it. It's like you take, like our good friends from Watch Your Mouth, the WWE game. You take 500 pieces and pour them out. Oh, this is a good piece. This is a good piece. But a lot of the times what they do as far as putting together the 500-piece puzzle, it makes absolutely no sense, and there's no rhyme and reason to it. And I don't enjoy that when I watch a wrestling product.
And I get that.
In any promotion, not just them.
Well, and the thing is if they do it right, they don't have to wrestle the Roman Reigns. It's a club. It's a Bullet Club. Like, they could bring their guys with them and still use them. Like, what is Gallows and Anderson doing right now? Nothing. Those are the big guys. Bring them in the club. They wrestle the Roman. And
that's
if they're,
the thing.
But I know you're going to say that they're not. Oh, but if they join,
no, not at all.
Okay,
you're putting words in my mouth.
Well,
that don't
I
exist.
just know how you are about this.
Those are two guys that you could at least put some fear in someone. There is nothing fearsome about the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. And I think Kenny Omega is one of the best in the world. But I just think that whole faction, it's, you know, black and edgy and the bones and everything. I don't think it's the right fit.
Okay.
And I obviously am wrong to some extent, because they've sold millions upon millions of dollars.
Well, I look at it like
merchandise.
this.
It just doesn't appeal to me at all.
When Nakamura was in the Bullet Club, he was hot. Now he's in WWE, he's dying.
I think the problem with Nakamura is
he's also a heel. I know. But I'm just saying, you put him back, if they come, they put the Bullet Club with them again, you don't need AJ. AJ stays out because AJ is obviously the champion, but maybe he does get a run in there. But you put the Gallows and Anderson in there too, I think that helps make it bigger.
The fact, if you want to talk about people underused, underutilized, you could put the faction together with calling it a different name with Balor and Nakamura and Gallows and Anderson, and I think you get a hell of a lot of sizzle and a lot more, it would be a lot more believable.
Well, it was so crazy because remember WWE did that a little bit during the, what was it, during the winter time, right around the beginning of the year? But didn't they have Gallows and Anderson and Finn all tag team and then it was just gone? Remember they had,
yeah.
You remember?
When they had that problem last October, was it the TLC pay-per-view that everybody got sick?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they wound up doing the thing with Angle.
Right.
I know Fergal had suggested putting him, Gallows, and Anderson together in that big, I don't remember how many people were in that big schmaz of the main event that I hated because it lacked a lot of thought and common sense.
Right.
But I thought that would have been a really, good if they pulled it off, at least to give them a chance. But in the end, they wound up doing Finn and AJ, and having AJ do a clean job, which was just wrong for so many reasons. Anytime you bring in the substitute to make the fans feel like they have value for what they've seen, you should always have the substitute go over.
Right.
I was blown away that they had AJ lose that match. And again, nothing against Finn Balor. I think the world of him. Both men have competed here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation, both excellent talents. Just on that one night, the way the circumstances were, right. AJ should not have lost that match. And as far as that wild TLC match went, it's just 5-on-3. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
A month before Survivor Series, which is supposed to be built around the big tag team match.
And they don't do that anymore. That's the problem. And like you're saying, I think it would be great.
That was just one, I think, where they said, oh, geez, we have a pay-per-view on October, whatever the date was. What are we going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Not one that they had planned 6 months ahead on, saying, oh, on TLC, we're going to do A, B, and C.
One thing I think, and this is just looking hindsight way far down the road, if they did get the Bullet Club and Cody, the Bucks and the Cody to come back, and they did a Survivor Series style match, you could have that 5-team match, the 5 men, with Gallows and Hanson. I think that would go over like Rover big time, just because of having all 5 together. You know what I mean? That's where they build them together.
It benefits them to stay together as a group. I just don't see a lot of mileage in it in WWE. And I know people are going to see this and they'll probably castrate me. And it's nothing against the talents. I don't like the comedy presentation, and I don't think that style of comedy presentation would work in WWE. If WWE tweaks them, which they tweak everybody,
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Will they be able to adjust and get over and stay over with the WWE audience? You have to remember, there is a portion of the WWE audience that doesn't know they exist. They'll be completely new faces to them.
But that,
and I mean, can you imagine that style going out on Raw? Having 2 little kids that look like they're 10 years old?
Well, if we're going to go down that road, Raw's been pretty, settled. It's been, with that might actually help people turn on the TV and say, what is going on? Because usually it's what we talked about, segment after segment. It's Dean and Seth, Drew and Dolph. Like, having something different you turn on, people screaming super kick.
If you add Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega to any roster in WWE, it's a giant improvement. I'm just talking about them coming as a faction, trying to do the comedy stuff that they do now. I don't think it works in WWE. I don't like it at all now, but again, how can I argue the results?
Hey, you know what? Honestly, I see, and that's the thing is, look at that. You know why people are going to MSG, not for them. The 10,000 people, you know what I mean, for the arena and everything, they went because of the Bucks and Coach. So, I mean, there is a fan base there.
There's no arguing that.
You
can't argue results.
Right.
The way I look at it. I just don't particularly enjoy it, and I don't think there's a lot of longevity to it. One thing I'm interested, though, to actually see it in person when they are in Lowell next month. Yeah, it's October
November 8th.
Now, so I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out in front of me in person, as
November
opposed to
8th.
what I've seen on television and on video.
All right,
I wish them all luck. I think they're all in for a great payday. If they don't get a great payday out of this, they're doing something wrong. As far as Adam Page goes, smartest thing he could do was not sign a contract.
Oh, yeah, I see him as a
future. If I was him, I wouldn't sign a contract with anyone until they're all free agents. See, someone just agreed with me.
Yeah, I think I see him as a future ROH champion, heavyweight champion. And
Adam Page has a lot of potential in my eyes.
Definitely.
I thought he had a lot of potential long before he even joined the Bullet Club. When he went to Japan, I'm pretty sure New Japan pushed for him to be included in the Bullet Club, and Ring of Honor was kind of, I don't know if confused is the right word, but they really weren't expecting it, and in the end, they got a gem because they were able to do something really new with Page from what they were doing with him before, and give him a significant push.
Right.
I didn't think, my most recent exposure to him would have been the thing with the penises at All In, and there was nothing enjoyable about that to me. It was absolutely foolish.
I could have done without that.
It was like a 12-year-old came up with a skit for a talent show without a teacher as moderating.
What blows my mind is the crowd reacted to it too. It's unbelievable. That I totally agree with you on. I could have done without that too. But let's go moving on.
It was a success.
Yeah.
You can't argue a success. I just thought it was atrocious, and I thought it was an embarrassment.
Right. All right, moving on. Evolution is going to return for SmackDown 1000. How do we get Batista back? They haven't been able to do anything with them.
I look at that again as a lack of common sense. Evolution never appeared on SmackDown. Why do it? There's plenty of things you can do with Batista alone.
Right, but I can tell you why. Have you looked at the ratings? They're hoping to pop a rating. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense because, like you just said, they never really appeared. I mean, their ratings are lowest they've ever been. So they need something.
Do you think it'll make that much of a difference ratings-wise if it's Evolution or if it's Batista?
I think it's good that they're... Well, the thing is, I'm glad they're announcing it now, not the week before, so maybe it will because you know what? Batista at least could draw something because I don't know why they haven't reached out to him to do anything. And I've heard podcasts with him and interviews, and he says WWE hasn't reached out to him at all for any Mania stuff or anything, which blows my mind. Blows my mind.
For a company that lacks so much star power in 2018, especially mainstream appeal, it doesn't make any sense. There are so many dream matches you could put Batista into. Again, Batista is he the world's greatest quote-unquote worker, match for match, move for move? No. But what he brings to the plate is something that's believable, that's credible, has a great history to it. That they haven't wanted him around more blows me away. And he's a guy that just doesn't want to come in for the TV tapings. He has such a great passion for the professional wrestling industry. He'll do a whole schedule,
He said it. I heard a thing. He said he wants to come in and do the whole shows, the schedule, everything. And the thing about it is he's a great worker. He puts 100% in. He doesn't take time off. Like when I used to watch, he's just awesome. And he's a great person, too.
He's not The Rock.
No.
There are people that look at the business right now from two different vantage points. You have a guy right now that is well known from Hollywood. He wants to come in and do one last full-time run. The only thing I can think of maybe is that they think they're going to have a lot of eyeballs on SmackDown 1000, and they're going to shoot some kind of an angle with either Triple H
I hope so.
or Orton to work him at WrestleMania 35. I just don't understand why you'd need Evolution.
Right.
I'd like Batista's fine on his own. I mean, that's a coup having him come back where it's been so long. I don't think he's been on WWE television since that disastrous heel run that he had.
Right, because they didn't build it right. They did not, and that's what happened.
He said that Triple H laughed, or maybe not Triple H, but maybe it was Vince, laughed at him when he said Avengers was going to be a big thing.
No, it was Triple H and Stephanie.
Triple H?
I heard the interview. I've just listened to a recent. They laughed at him, and they didn't want no part of it.
I know someone was laughing all their way to the bank as a result of that, and it wasn't WWE.
Right. I don't know. I totally, agree. I think him being there will definitely help out the product, and it's just good to see him back in WWE for at least one show. I hope what you said, it's going to build to something. Something, because Batista deserves to be around.
What an attraction Lesnar and Batista would be.
Oh, my God,
I don't think the match would be all that good.
But it's just like Goldberg and Batista.
But if they built that, that's what I'm just going to say, like a 5-minute match like they did at WrestleMania, was it 33 in Orlando? That's money. That's money.
Definitely.
And they just, I think Roman and Batista at this point now, where Roman is much more of a top-tier talent than he was in 2014, I think that would be a big draw.
Yeah.
I think Lashley and Batista would be a significant draw. I think there's mileage out of Batista and Orton. They never really had a big, pay-per-view to pay-per-view type program. Could he work with Bryan and AJ and have it be all that believable?
See, I think so, just because he's smaller now. He's not the big guy, and he's not the big Batista. I don't know if you've seen him. He's definitely smaller. And he's, I think he can work that way now. And
but here's the thing. Do you want to see Batista work that way?
You know what? Against those two, yes, because they're great workers. I think it would be a good match between them. Now, if you're talking about someone else, like, I don't know. But I think those two, he would have a good match with and could tell a good story. But that's me. It's all personal preference.
Well, I tell you this. He went out of his way to make Daniel Bryan look awfully good at WrestleMania 30. I believe he tapped for the finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for Dave Batista. I know a lot of people personally aren't the biggest fan of him personally, but I only know the passion that he brings to the industry, the credibility he brings to the industry, and the desire to give back to the industry as opposed to someone that wants to come in for multi-millions of dollars to do next to nothing other than tell jokes. I'll take Batista 9 times out of 10 with that.
He said he would do house shows. Right there tells you he's a team player. Now moving on, the WWE Network. I've been reading some stuff. They're thinking about doing a tier system. Now, I don't know how you feel about it.
I'm going to do the Batista right now.
Yeah,
the night after SummerSlam 2004.
Oh, the thumbs down on the tier system. Well,
I don't like it.
Let me tell you. All right, the plan one.
Tell the fans what it is.
I'm going to tell you what I've read. Don't quote me on it because I don't know if it's, it's totally right, but it's what I've read. Plan one was going to be free. It's actually going to be free. You're going to get video clips, which are 5 minutes. You're going to get the access to the 24/7 stream, the stream, and you can watch up to 5 hours of any contact on there a month. I didn't. I thought that
Well,
was.
you know, I think, and I'm only hearing this part for the first time, I think that is a good idea in that you get people that have never subscribed before to try it out, maybe for the very first time, and to get them hooked.
Right.
They're not getting everything. They're
No,
not
they're
getting
not getting the
they're not getting
pay-per-views,
good
nothing.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you're getting them on it. You're getting
Right.
them familiar with it.
Right.
And that, I think, is the key part of that idea. And I think that's a really good idea.
Right. I thought it was good too. And then plan 2 was a $4.99, and you'll get the video clips. You'll get the big 4 pay-per-views. You know, Mania, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. And then you'll get the NXT TV, but it's pre-recorded. It's not. It's like later on. It's like the week after it is. Like you'll get it that way. You won't get it the day it shows up on there. And then you're gonna get the access to the video archive. You know,
Archives, yeah.
archive and the live stream, the 24/7 live stream. You know, just the whole time it runs. So I thought that was pretty good. I don't know. Plan 3 was $9.99, which you pay now for. You'll get the video clips, all the pay-per-views. You'll get all the NXT takeovers with it too, and you'll have limited commercials. Those other 2 will have commercials all the time, you know, and stuff like that. I don't know. What do you think? You think that's?
And is there a higher tier than the $9.99?
Yeah, there's one more, which was Plan 4, which is $14.99, which is, I think it's awesome. I love the network as it is right now for $9.99. So $14.99, I'm sold on this. If this is what it is.
What's in it? I want to hear
Well,
this.
I'm going to
Pitch
tell
me,
you.
brother.
I'm just explaining. All right, you get the video clips, you get all the other stuff I said, everything. But then you get access to indie content because they put a survey out. I know you make face, but here we go.
Every time they do these surveys, people are up in arms saying, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that.
Right.
They've been sending out these fan surveys for responses for several years now.
I understand that. I got one. I understand.
No
What
one
I'm
cares about that.
No, they do because I'm
Well-
telling you, I guarantee if indie fans that wanted just that would subscribe so they could watch it because not every indie fan can watch.
Those fans get it now.
Okay. And you get,
In my opinion.
well,
they
get
it
you
now.
get they were
They're
gonna
not
put
going to get any new.
TNA and ROH were the.
Oh, well, all right. I thought you were talking about, the little independents
No,
over in
well,
England
you don't let
and
me finish
whatnot.
it. Cut
All
me right off.
Go ahead.
There you go. TNA and ROH were going to be part of that with the indie wrestling.
You got to remember another thing.
I know they have their own streams.
A lot of what is in those surveys is almost like when Pro Wrestling Illustrated would come out with a cover on the magazine in 1988, Hulk Hogan versus Mike Tyson, who would win? A lot of that is almost fantasy booking.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
I get
Could
it.
they go out and,
And let me make it
worthwhile
clear.
to them?
Let me make it clear. This isn't what really is going to happen either. I was just reading something and I wanted to bring it to your attention. None of this might even happen. I just thought this $14.99 with the last couple things was pretty cool. No commercials also, and then the best thing was the fan perks. You get pre-sale to tickets. You get the pre-sale right
They
there.
should do that now.
And discount on merchandise. The WWE Shop.
Yeah, you have a discount on merchandise every day.
I'm just letting you know. And then also special meet and greets that only have that.
I think that's great too.
And I thought that was pretty cool too.
Out of everything you told me, the one thing I like the most is the free concept.
Right.
I had not heard of a free concept, and I think it's a great way to get fans that may not have opened up their wallets yet to sample it, get them familiar with it, and hopefully be enticed enough by the content on the television to want the pay-per-views and subscribe.
I totally agree.
give that 2 thumbs up. I'll be
Yeah.
like Siskel and Ebert.
Well, that's just something that you hear. Maybe, don't quote me on it. I don't know if it's true. It was just something I
they
read.
send out those fan surveys once or twice a year, and people, I don't know why, but a lot of them take it as fact as opposed to WWE just trying to get, a feel for what the fans might
What's
like to
going on
spend their
there.
money on.
Right.
most.
And then the biggest news that I thought was the biggest news was rumored and supposedly true is Chris Jericho is going to be part of Bound for Glory on October 14th at Impact Wrestling.
If I was Impact Wrestling, I would give Chris Jericho an ownership stake and have him stay. He gives them believability, credibility, star power. He's effective. He's somewhat of a celebrity outside of the world of professional wrestling. What more do they need right now? They have nothing. They've been, and that is nothing, that's not meant as an insult towards the talent that's there now. They've done a good job in what you have to look at almost as a rebuilding year if you were to compare
And this
it
would be huge for
to a
them.
sports team. But if you could get someone like Jericho that's willing to work with anybody in any style, will put people over, is a real believer in the tradition of the genre, I would sit down and say, Chris, what is it going to take? Within reality.
Oh, I totally agree. I think him being on Impact, I think it would be perfect because it brings more eyes to the product. Because it's definitely going to spike the ratings.
I'll tell you this.
People love Jericho.
I haven't watched Impact since they were on the channel with the haunted houses. What was that?
Destination America.
I may have seen it once on Pop TV, on the TV in the other room, but it's just, there's nothing that makes me want to say, I got to tune in.
Right.
And, you know, Eddie Edwards, I think the world of. Former MWF television champion. But, I mean, they've just been drained so much. They just need some life again, I guess maybe is the best way to put it. And what a shot in the ass it would be to bring in Jericho.
Oh, I would love it. I think it would be unbelievable. Just because he changes his character all the time, he can do so many different things for that company alone. And the biggest thing is bringing the eyes to the product. That's what they need right now, is some people watching it. People see what they have to offer. And then him being in there, the storylines they could do, and him getting his mind involved with the storylines, like help writing the product.
Very creative guy.
Yes.
And you know where else he would really be of value to them, as the name Chris Jericho means something in the world of television. If you go and try and pitch Impact to a real television station that might
like
actually give them money,
or something,
as opposed to Pop TV, who splits, you know, 800 commercials for blankets and pillows, 50-50 with them, Jericho could have some real value to them that way, too. I hope it happens. I'd like to see it happen.
Me too. I think it'd be great.
You know, nothing against him, but we've seen it there. He's worked with just about everybody there I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah.
This would be a new adventure, a new foray for him. And what a coup it would be now. Jericho's getting up there. He's closer to the end than the beginning. What a coup to him it would be, to his ego, if he is actually a guy that really grabbed Impact by the balls and helped move them up the ladder to where they used to be.
I totally agree. And he'd be one of the few guys that's actually have been part of the big three. Not many people could, you know what I mean, that's still current, you know, because he was WCW, WWE, and now Impact TNA, whichever one you want to call it. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
You
I'd
know?
like to see it happen.
Me too.
I wouldn't mind, nothing, I wouldn't like to see him in WWE again. I just can't think of much for him to do there now.
Right now,
It would be fresh and original.
Right, exactly.
It'd be fun to see him for a week or two, and then he'd be on TV every week like everybody else, and what feels like the same matches over and over again, the same promos over and over again, the same skits over and over again that so many talents are regulated to. He has right now the ability to do what he wants, where he wants, and how he wants. And that's a great thing, and I hope he makes the most out of it.
I still think he needs to come back WWE for unfinished business with Kevin Owens because the way he left. But I know, there you go. You make that face because you're that.
Let me tell you something.
Here we go.
I got to use my favorite line.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Right.
It's been done. It's over. It's long since forgotten about. WWE does not have a great track record this century. The olden days, it was a different story. But the 2000s forward, they don't have a great track record of reviving past feuds with great success.
You know why?
Reviving past talents with great success.
You know why?
I think they probably would forget or not do anything with Jericho and Owens. Why
Because they don't have my guy in there. I'm not even going to mention his name because that's for another day and another time. But my guy
Vince Russo is who he's talking about.
Right, and he would be able to write a great story for that. And you know it because, like I always say, what was the best time of wrestling? What was the best time of wrestling? What does everybody always go back to at my age, at 33 years old, or even, you know, right around between 25 and 33 or even 40? They say the Attitude Era. Who wrote the Attitude Era? Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara. Thank you very much.
He played a great part in helping book 3 successful years for WWE. I'll always
They were the best 3 years of their life.
He did a great job of giving everybody something to do, which is severely lacking in 2018. But Vince Russo into Jericho, I would see about 6 or 7 heel turns and babyface turns the first month, 3 or 4 title changes the first month.
Well, since we're on this, you know who wanted Jericho in WWE was Vince Russo. He's the reason why. He's the one who reached out to Vince and told him about Chris Jericho to get him to come. And then Vince left.
You really believe that?
Oh, I do.
I wish a man that sat in this very seat last December, Jim Ross, was here right now to continue this conversation.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't believe everything that guy says because he also, you know,
well, why do you believe everything Vince Russo says?
Well, because why would he...
Let me tell you this. None of them are going to give you the 100%.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying exactly, but that's what I'm saying. I was just going to say that. Not both are going to give you the 100% truth. So you don't know what you're saying. This could be true, too, because JR talks a lot of stuff, too. Like Dr. Death Steve Williams was going to be the man and all this stuff, and he ended up being a complete, you know what I mean? So
if Steve Williams wasn't put in that Brawl for All environment, I would have liked to have seen.
Oh yeah, I could see millions of dollars made with him and Stone Cold. No, not at all.
On paper, it would have been something I would have liked to have seen in 1998. To be honest,
and
no.
Your word. Let me take the words.
I didn't really
Nobody
want to see that.
cares.
Well, Austin was the hottest thing in the history of the business.
Right. No one would want to see him face Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Well, if Vince Russo was this great writer, he would have come up with something.
He knew he was garbage. That's why he did the Brawl for All.
Let me tell you, Steve Williams was not garbage. But I tell you this,
no,
I don't know.
No. I'm not saying he's garbage. I'm saying against Stone Cold, it wouldn't make any money. No one would care. It'd be like the Patriot versus Bret Hart. No one cared. It was
I don't
stupid.
know if you know this, and I don't think we've ever discussed it.
Okay.
Do you know who one of the original first opponents for Austin was going to be in 1998 after he won the title from Michaels?
No.
Remember, it wound up being Dude Love, Foley, and then he did things with Kane and Undertaker.
Yeah, I know all that.
Do you know who I think right off the bat it was supposed to be at one point?
Who's that?
It was a man that wound up doing something in WWE under a different identity in 1998. You know what? I'm going to let you think about that, and I'm going to tell you as we go off the air, because now it's even worse now than it was in 1998 when it was supposed to happen. I want you to think about it. As a man, well-known, and he wound up doing something in WWE later in 98.
Was he in WWE at the time?
No.
Okay.
He came in as a free agent, so to speak. But he had a past with WWE, and he still wound up doing something in 98, but it had nothing to do with Steve Austin. How does the history of the Attitude Era, how it would have looked? Maybe, and I'm fair to give everybody credit, maybe it was Vince Russo who said no. But we'll see.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little time to think about it, who this man was that was going to headline pay-per-views with Steve Austin.
I can't.
In his first big run.
Well,
I'm sure the people at home, they're going to Google. You
right.
can't Google. I want to see if you can come up with it by the end of this program.
Okay.
If you can't, believe me, I understand why. Cecil Valliant in the back. Any ideas? A man that is a good friend of legendary ring announcer Gary Michael Capetta. A man that puts the pet in Capetta. Well, we don't have to sit there and play the
Right, no, I
Jeopardy
know.
song
Obviously,
now.
I know you're going to edit this. Wait a minute.
I'm not going to edit it.
You're going to leave this on?
Sure. It hasn't been that long.
Oh, my God.
They all want to make my job more difficult than it is.
All you got to
folks.
do
What
is
are you
take a little
gonna
edit
say?
here and there. Wait a minute. Was he in WCW coming to WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Back then?
And he had, believe it or not, some main event type matches in WCW.
Oh, my God, I do know who. Mark Merrow.
No.
No.
Merrow was already in WWE in
Well,
98.
but I didn't know. You didn't tell me. You said he was in there when I asked, too. That's why I didn't know. Oh, so he just came into WWE
He
at that time.
came from WCW to WWE.
Right then, you're saying.
Right.
Okay, I thought you meant, because I asked if he was in WWE, you said yeah, but no.
I misspoke then.
Okay. Oh, man. Well, that's my guess. I don't know. You got to
It's
tell
not
me.
Mark Merrow.
Right.
I want you to think about it. We have 2 more commercial breaks to look forward to.
Okay.
Do we have any more headlines?
That was it?
Then you know what? We're going to go to the headlines now. We're going to hear from our good friend, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, and myself as to why you should support our efforts. Not only coming to the studio October the 19th, but we're going to have a great Indiegogo campaign in different ways you can help online. Because believe it or not, I know everybody likes things for free, but it's not always free to put these things together. Check it out, and we're going to show you something really cool after the commercial break that you can get as part of the Tony Atlas Experience, October the 19th. Stand by.
South Haven on Friday, October 12th. Feel the thrill of NXT Live with some of the hottest NXT superstars up close and in action. See Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Shayna Baszler, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, EC3, and many more live. Don't miss the show that everyone's talking about. It's NXT Live in South Haven on Friday, October 12th. Tickets are available.
I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Let us tell you how the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation can help raise cash for your nonprofit cause. Experience the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation live in your city, throughout New England, the tri-state area, down through the Carolinas, out to our friends in the Midwest and beyond.
If your nonprofit organization is looking for an interactive turnkey experience, While putting enough fun into fundraising, you've met the perfect tag team partner to work with every step of the way.
The MWF offers a variety of packages for groups of almost any size, from our live events at the Boston Garden, the Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex, and the legendary Suffolk Downs, to high school gyms and function halls. We've presented live events everywhere and anywhere.
Since 2001, the MWF's mission has been simple: keep the kids off the streets. Under the leadership of President David Reese, we bring the superstars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow to your town. Not for a wrestling show, but an event that features action-packed in-ring wrestling, autograph, pose photo opportunities, Q&A sessions, and so much more. It's the best of sports and entertainment. The week of your event, we can add on to the endeavor with anti-bullying campaigns, library meet and greet reads, youth sport concussion seminars, and more.
Our live events are fit for fans of any age from 5 to 95. This fall is part of our new Kids Club program. We offer live event experiences exclusively for the youngest of fans. On the flip side, we can produce a tailor-made event for fans of an older demographic as well. We work with you every step of the way to get the word out to fans near and far on our local television offerings and to over 50,000 fans and growing on our social media platforms.
Your success is our success. If your group has had enough of candy bar and wrapping paper sales and has the energy to team with our passionate fan base, bringing the NWF experience to your community is the answer to put smiles on faces while raising cash for your cause.
Contact us today to get the ball rolling for your custom-made event that you'll want to bring back year after year to your community.
Don't just take it from us. Here are the folks we've teamed up with in the past.
Remember, like never before.
Occupy Raw has taken over.
With Raw, the first 25 years, packed with rare photos, profiles of your favorite superstars, and so much more. From the very first Raw to the 25th anniversary, it's the ultimate guide to WWE's flagship show. Raw, the first 25 years. Available now.
The Queen showing no signs of slowing down.
Charlottesville on Sunday, October 14th. WWE Live returns with a massive main event. Witness WWE Champion AJ Styles team up with Jeff Hardy to battle United States Champion Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe in a tag team match. Plus,
Mella is money.
see Carmella collide with Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And don't miss Charlotte Flair and The New Day Live. It's WWE Live in Charlottesville on Sunday, October 14th. Tickets and VIP packages are available.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marani, joined by, again, this guy, the longtime MWF associate, over 10 years now, Mr. David Carter. I know you're looking forward to October the 19th. I trust that you'll be here live with us.
Oh, I will be. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
And again, we have perhaps one of the great managers of the 1990s joining us in October. And on top of that, I'm working on something else for you guys. But we need the help, as Tony Atlas and I discussed on the commercial break during the pitch. But I have to bring this up. This is unique. Anytime you do a wrestling appearance, you know, you get the 8x10, you can get the pose photo. This is something different. I've come across a very interesting individual from New York City, Mr. Nick Sanders, one of the great aficionados of professional wrestling action figures collectibles. And he made this. Unbelievable. Hopefully it's on camera with me. I'll do the Vanna White for it. It is not authentic. It is the WWE Hasbro card that he made of Tony Atlas. One thing that collectors really like, were the backings to the Hasbro figures that came out in the early 90s.
I think it's great.
Did.
Oh.
He makes, I guess, replica ones of stars that didn't have them, but he's nice enough to have designed these unofficial Tony Atlas Hasbro cards that Tony will sign. We're going to put them up on eBay, part of the Indiegogo. So if you want a really cool collectible that's a little different than the typical 8x10 wrestling photo, check this out. Young guy, he's a college kid in New York City. Actually, I don't know if I should give out his address, but you'd be impressed if you knew where he lives. I'll tell you off the air. And again, for a moderate fee, get this signed by Tony. I know we're going to have Tony sign it, and it's going to join the set. And hopefully we'll have a nice Oscar one made up. And some of the other gentlemen we have planning to come and join us on Memories and Legends here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. But this, I mean, this is really cool. I would have loved to have had these when I was a kid. Going forward, when we go to different conventions and things like that, I'd like to have these made up for the fans to get signed. They're really cool.
I guarantee if you have that hanging in your room, that's a wrestling fan's going to say, hey, how did you get that? I didn't know they made, and then you tell them, I think that's great. As a wrestling fan, I want one. I think that's awesome.
Free advertising. He doesn't have a website for me to give you. I guess you're going to have to stalk him on Facebook. I'll see if I can find some kind of a link to throw into the comments section. But, you know, I know little Marati would probably like one of these.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think he knows what Hasbro's are, but, I mean, even if you don't, they're pretty cool.
He will someday.
He puts a nice card stock on the back. It's not a flimsy piece of paper or anything like that.
Quality.
So, to our friend Nick, you know, you owe me, how much does he owe us for the advertising? Several $1,000s. Thousands of dollars. Well, I know what this means back from the commercial break. One of your favorite things to do each week.
We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown. Let's kick it off. Dean Ambrose kicked off the show this week on Raw. And I know it's just a segment, but we'll go over it quick. You know, he talked about the truth. He was jealous of Roman being the WWE Universal Champion and Seth being the Intercontinental Champion and where it was going to go. And he says basically he stood by his family. There's no tiff in the faction or anything like that or the Shield. Then Corbin comes out and tells him to choose. He's got matches. He can either face Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins for the IC title, or Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And then he doesn't make a choice.
Yeah, you know, that just had nobody cares written all over it. How do we fill this week's episode with something that nobody cares about? I don't think there's any interest right now in the fans wanting to tease dissension in the ranks with Ambrose. They're going to turn him before WrestleMania. That's fine. I think that would lead to a good match, whoever he winds up working with. But
it's too soon.
To me, it was just lazy.
Yeah, and it's too soon.
From a common sense point of view, why does the general manager come out and let you pick what match
every
you
week?
Can have? It's just stupidity. It's not believable. It's not credible. And you have a team of announcers that have no credibility.
Right.
That, to me, you know what? I'll go off on a tangent here because WWE's Monday Night Raw ratings were atrocious this week.
Yes, they were.
Amongst the lowest in the history of the show, even though they're going to be getting record-breaking money next September from USA for the show, which is a coup to them. It's the commentary. The commentary is what's killing that company right now. For the simple reason, no matter you watch a little bit of WWE on TV, you watch a lot of WWE on TV, you're going to hear those announcers. And they have no passion, and they have no credibility. Corey Graves is all right. The lead announcer on SmackDown, what's his name? Tom Phillips?
Yep, Tom Phillips.
He does a serviceable job. The
I
rest
think
of them
Saxton's
are
pretty good.
Awful.
You don't like Saxton?
He's got personality, but
Yeah.
he's got no credibility.
No.
He's got no credibility. These people have no credibility. And if you're going to listen to 2 or 3 hours of bullshit, you're going to get bored with it awfully quick.
Well,
and you know what's happening? The fans are getting bored with it awfully quick, and they're not watching.
You know who did
and
a
that's
great
problem.
job back in the day was Taz and Michael Cole. I thought they were great on SmackDown together.
Michael Cole wasn't bad with Taz or JBL.
Right.
But the thing with Michael Cole is he's great when he does voiceovers. He's really good when he does the sit-down interviews.
Yep.
He just is so unbelievable doing the commentary.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I can't stand him.
Architect.
Yeah.
The
Vintage.
King Slayer.
Vintage.
Who gives a shit?
No.
Having this guy that's so uncool for a product that's supposed to reek of coolness, to have him be your pitchman, a guy that doesn't sound believable about anything, has no knowledge of the history of anything. It just,
And just
every
throw it
week
out
I say
there.
to myself, why isn't Jim Ross doing this?
And the thing is, too, is it's a younger show now, Mixed Match Challenge. He's doing that, too. Why do you have him on Mixed Match Challenge?
Does the Mae Young show, doesn't it?
Yeah. Why? I don't get it. We'll get off this horse, though. All I'm going to say is...
He ruins, their commentary ruins their own product. Every time they go on the air with the commentary they have now, they shoot themselves in the foot and says, you know what? This is worse than it should be. And I know that might sound harsh. They might say, oh, we have Renee Young now.
I guarantee a lot of people
I don't really
out there.
care about any of them. Their commentary presentation as it is now
I like Renee
sucks.
and Corey. I like Renee and Corey.
What
but
did she really add? She's a woman. Okay, great. You're a woman.
Here's the
We
thing, though.
applaud
Your
you.
thing is Cole. Cole takes over the whole thing, so she can never get a word in. When she does, though, it sounds good. Just like Corey. Corey has some good one-liners.
I have nothing
Michael
against...
just talks too much, like you're saying. He talks too much.
I have nothing against Renee Young. I hope as time goes on, she continues to evolve and get better. You know, is she better than Jonathan Coachman? Absolutely. But what does that say? Jonathan Coachman was atrocious. He was atrocious in the 90s. He was atrocious in the 2000s. He was atrocious this decade.
He's funny backstage.
Whatever, you know what? I'm really getting into it. But I mean, everybody liked to have him around because he'd hit on all the broads at the hotel after the show and get laid.
Right, there we go.
What does that add to your professional wrestling product?
I don't know.
Nothing. Having him and Michael Cole together at the same time was like the worlds colliding of horrible. Who sucked worse?
I mean, I
Often
don't want to
nothing.
get. I don't want to get.
Terrible.
Yeah, we're good.
Every problem they have with people not watching, it has nothing to do with the athletes most of the time that go into the ring to compete. However you want to describe what it is they do. I'll say compete. It has nothing to do with their efforts. They are following the ideas of a lot of people that sometimes don't have a great background in the genre, and more than anything, it is being presented by people that have no credibility, no believability. There is nothing that comes out of Michael Cole's mouth when he's calling play-by-play on a wrestling match that adds credibility to any of it.
Right.
And you know what? Saying that on film with my aspirations in life might not be the best thing, but it's an honest thing. I think there's a million good things you could do with Michael Cole as an asset to WWE. The one thing that he is not an asset in doing is calling professional wrestling matches.
I totally agree. Moving on, just to end that segment, Corbin ended up made the choice, and it was Braun.
And no one cared.
And then we moved right down. It was Braun versus Dean Ambrose. I thought it was a great match.
It was good,
good,
but
you know what I
nobody
mean? Because a
cared.
big guy, small guy, and I think Dean
boring.
worked good.
It's been done. It
All
feels
right.
like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and
To
weeks
go through
and
it quick,
weeks and
Roman
weeks.
came out. He gave the Superman punch to
surprise.
Braun.
Yeah, that was a
Seth
good one.
came out, helped out as well.
Yeah.
It ended in a DQ, and Braun won. I mean, there's not much to talk about because it's been going on like this.
And
if
no
it's
one will
guy.
remember it next week.
And then
That's
it went,
the problem.
Right. The
Can
next,
you tell me what? I'll ask you this before we go on. Can you remember what happened 2 weeks ago when we did the recap on Raw and SmackDown? I can't remember anything. 2 weeks ago. I can give you the monthly lineups to the Boston Garden from 1986, from when I first went, every month until the Garden shut down in '95. I don't remember what happened on Raw 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's why, you know, we have our
That's why we
notes
have
and
you.
everything. That's right. Moving on, it went from when Roman was on the ring, Dolph came out, it was Roman versus Dolph.
I thought that was pretty
That
good.
was a good match.
I
but
like that.
Ziggler is a good worker. I think he's a bumping machine, and he bumped the hell out of this match. It was awesome.
Maybe it has happened, but I don't remember the two of them ever having a singles match. And
No,
it was
me
really
either.
good. I enjoyed it. I know I'm in the minority on this one, but I like Roman an awful lot. And Ziggler, again, is always going to go out and give 100% effort in making the match and the opponent look as good as
And Roman's
possible.
been great. I don't care. People, boom, he's great. He's been awesome in the ring. His promos are getting better. He's good.
My only issue with Roman is that I don't think he's intense enough. I think they put him out there and he talks and acts like everybody else.
Yeah,
I think for him to get the most value out of him, he should be more intense. He should be a little bit more angrier and speak in shorter sound bites. I don't think he should joke. I don't think he should laugh, but one man's opinion.
Right. I know you were looking forward to this match. We had Ronda Rousey with the Bellas versus Ruby Riott with the Riott Squad. And I know he texted me and told me this was a great match. It was unbelievable. And you know what he feels like with the women's matches.
Brie Bella was bouncing around ringside like she was Bobby Heenan. It made me sick. Every time I see the two of them, it just makes me want to change the channel. I feel bad for what Brie Bella, anything can happen in wrestling. You can't really attack Brie Bella for a botched spot when she kicked Liv Morgan. But it just shows they have no business being in there. They add nothing. They're not good wrestlers. They're not good promos. I know one of them is married to one of the top WWE stars, but the other one isn't anymore. It's just they have no value. The reality show is as unrealistic as anything on television.
Right.
There is nothing interesting about them. They add nothing. They're like Michael Cole. Anytime the Bellas are on TV, it takes away from what they're doing. Having that, which one is it going to be? Nikki main event that Evolution show is insane, but one man's opinion.
Right. Well, and I'm just going to go with the match. You don't have to include it. I thought it was a great match.
Oh,
Ruby
yeah.
Riott and Ronda are great together. I think they did good. A lot of power moves in it. Ruby wrestled great. I thought Ronda did a good job.
That Wild Riot Squad. It was like the Nasty
No,
Boys.
no, no.
at the
I didn't say
Hilton
the
back in
Riot
the
Squad. I
90s.
said Ruby Riott,
No,
the
I know
wrestler,
what you're saying.
the competitor.
They try
And
hard.
Ronda
They
won
try
it with
hard.
an armbar. I thought it was a good match, but that's me. Next on the card was Mr. Glorious himself, Bobby Roode with Chad Gable versus Connor, and with Victor on the side.
I almost texted you during this match because what I wanted to say was, what does it say about where Bobby Roode is right
Believe
now?
me, I feel
For
with
him
you
to
on that
take
one.
a clean pin from, who was it, Connor?
Yeah, it was Connor.
Connor.
Hey, I know. I'm not disagreeing with you on this. I honestly think Bobby Roode should turn heel and go ape on everybody, but he doesn't, and I don't know what WWE's doing right now. Chad Gable, I don't get it.
And I like, I'm not the world's biggest Bobby Roode fan. I like Bobby Roode in tag teams, and I think he's all right as a mid-card type heel. Everything is wrong about it. The tandem with him and Gable just seems so fake and so forced. I don't know if you think that
No, I know.
too.
It doesn't make
Gable,
any sense.
If there was anything to 205 Live, I'd say send him to 205
Right.
Live and make him the guy. But what are you going to do? Put him in there with a bunch of guys that are uninteresting and small.
I mean, there's some good guys.
Who?
You don't like Cedric? You don't like Blake Murphy?
Am I going out of my way to watch them for free?
You wouldn't
No.
watch it.
Why wouldn't? If it was good, I'd watch it. There is nothing interesting about 205 Live. You go to the TV tapings.
You don't like
before
Lucha
they-
House Party?
Before they finally restructure.
Wait a minute. You don't like Lucha House Party? Lucha.
You want to know something?
Come on.
I think that's a great kid's
Kalisto?
gimmick, but they don't do anything to merchandise them.
I mean, that's true. I can't argue with
When
you there.
205 Live was going live at 10, half the crowd got up and left. And what does that say to the poor guys going out there?
I know.
Is it always their fault? No. A lot of the times it's not. But I think that roster leaves a lot to be desired for 205 Live. Some might disagree with me. My opinion.
Well, moving on. The return of the B Team. Finally back on Raw versus the
Yeah,
Revival.
that was all right.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I like the B Team. I think it's a cool little gimmick they have. Something for them to do. You know what I mean?
I've said it before and I've said it again. I think Bo Dallas is one of the most underrated guys in WWE.
Yeah.
I really don't care for the comedy stuff, but there are so many small things that Bo Dallas does that maybe only catch the eyes of someone that has been around a long time. He's just a fantastic talent. Is he a main event guy? Is he going to main event WrestleMania? No. But that doesn't mean he can't have a very long, successful career in WWE.
Right.
And I'd like to see a more serious presentation of him at some point, but I just think he's off the charts, and I think he's one of the most underrated talents in wrestling right now.
Oh, yeah, I totally
He can do
agree.
it all, and everything he does is very good, very effective.
The B Team won, and then they got jumped by AOP going up the ramp. I don't know.
I
It's
like
something.
that.
Yeah,
There's
and it's something
for
for AOP. Exactly.
They were in the main event the week before, so instead of them just being forgotten about, it was nice to see them put into an angle where they were still being presented as big and mean and dangerous. I thought that was good. Again, the only thing with AOP is I think the manager takes away from it.
Yeah.
Call
That's all.
Paul Ellering.
But you know what I
Call
did.
him.
But what I did put is Drake was actually not dressed like them this week. Finally, he was wearing a normal.
the tank top.
I
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
real
But he had the
badass,
leather jacket. At least he
Oh,
had
yeah,
something different. All right, moving on. The best match of the night for me, at least, was Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. That was up next.
That was a really good match.
I think they
Really
worked
good
great there.
match.
I love Drew and I love Seth.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't wait for when Drew says see you later to Ziggler and goes on his own. I think it's going to be awesome.
You know, where there is such a lack of talk and direction right now towards WrestleMania, which is a good thing. I like that maybe the information hasn't leaked. I think at some point, if they can separate the two of them, I'd like to see Roman and Drew as a WrestleMania match. But I don't want to see it at a WrestleMania match after it's been done on free television.
You want to
15
see the
times.
build-up to the
Right,
Mania.
Right.
And then the next part, which probably was the highlight of Raw, was Elias and Kevin Owens. That crowd booed Elias for at least 6. It was awesome. I haven't seen that much heat on one guy for years. That was awesome.
The fan reaction to that was out of this world.
Right.
That segment might not have been for me, but it hit a home run.
Oh,
That
my
was
God.
great.
Everybody at home, I know you guys agree, that was fantastic.
Everybody agreed.
Oh, my God. Come on. That was 6 minutes of straight boo.
Yeah, no, I mean, they wish
When
they,
the last time? Nate,
Here's
you
the
always do
thing,
this
they
to
would
me.
love to get that type of reaction during a money segment.
Right. Well, hey, why wasn't it? You got KO out there. He used to be interesting. You know
Ah, yeah, we
what?
gotta
You
do
know,
another
hey,
Kevin
they're
Owens
building up to
show.
this nice big super show in Australia. You know, it was good. Leo comes, cuts a little promo, and then end up being
My buddy.
That's right.
Hell of
A+.
a talent.
Good on the mic.
I am confused still as to why he's a babyface instead of a heel. If they continue that character and they turn him heel, you have what's been missing for so long. A guy that can be a great mouthpiece for what might be a solid wrestler in the ring, but might not be a great mouthpiece. Instead of just sending some valet out with him, thinking that the TNA aspect is going to get him over. I love the utilization of Leo Rush. I just don't understand why it isn't heel Leo Rush, but I think, as I've said before, I think in time there'll be some friction between him and Bobby, and he'll wind up either Bobby will turn heel, or if they keep Bobby
needs to turn heel.
They'll put him with someone to feud with Bobby.
Right.
I think a heel Bobby with Leo as a manager would be great for both of them.
Led to a match, Bobby Lashley versus KO. Yeah. It was a pretty good match. I mean, same old. KO win with the roll-up because I was distracted. I mean,
Feels
Ben
like
Elias
I've seen it 47
Oh,
times,
yeah, we did. We have.
But
Now, the next match, obviously, I know you were a huge fan of, and it was the last match of the night. It was Bayley versus Alicia Fox.
I remember that one now. Yeah, that was some hugs, and that was good. No one cared.
Bayley won with the Bayley to belly. End of that.
As those
the
remote
final
controls
segment
kept changing.
We'll just skim right over before he says something, nobody wants to hear. HBK finished Raw with a long, nice promo. But then the ending of Raw was awesome. It brought me back to the Attitude Era, the 95, something like that. It was just something else. It was good. It had the old guys in it, and it was fun. And it brought you back. As a fan of our age, it must have brought you back to the way Raw used to be, at least, a little bit.
I don't want to say what I thought.
Okay.
I don't want to insult those guys for everything they've done to the business, but...
You didn't like the bald HBK?
Whatever. It is what it is, but, funny, I thought the cowboy hat was glued to his head. The first time Kane punched him, he fell down, and the cowboy hat didn't come off.
I know,
it was like the old LJN figures that had the hat on the top of the head. It didn't want to come off.
Right, yeah. It was a funny... I mean... You know what you can do is you're watching this video, go on YouTube, leave us comments how you felt about that.
I'd love to know what the fans think.
If you want, you're watching this.
Feel, without breaking it apart like I do a lot of things, it made me sad to watch that. It made me sad to see those guys go out there. If anything, the promos have been very good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The build-up has been very good for that match. I wouldn't have done anything physical with them on television.
Let me ask you
because it just, they made Kane look so stupid.
Right.
Standing there when Undertaker's ready to tombstone Shawn Michaels, and they got to wait for Triple H to run out, who's not exactly a runner, but...
No. Well, let me ask you this. I think, honestly, before we move on to SmackDown, they've built this Super Showdown, like, unbelievable,
Great job. Fantastic job.
Why did they build this up bigger than, some of their big pay-per-views, like bigger than, you know what I mean? Some of their...
Big money.
Right, but why not do this for every? Why not do this for every?
You can't do a stadium show every month.
No, but I'm talking about do these build-ups for some of their pay-per-views that aren't.
You want a simple answer to that?
Right.
They don't have enough variety in their roster.
Yeah.
It's the same
because they have the old guys coming in too.
You're right. And the same skits every week, every month, every year. It's hard for them to present something special because of the amount of television time they have to fill, and then on top of that, the amount of pay-per-views
Well, put it this way. For this being a 5 a.m. show here in Eastern, a lot of people are going to watch it. Not at that time, but this will be something that actually people go back and watch this weekend because the build-up was good.
Yeah.
The matches are going to be great.
Let me ask you this. Other than Undertaker and Triple H, would you really want to go out of your way to see it?
Yes, because I want to.
I'm not even knocking it. I'm just.
Well, me personally, I want to see John Cena. I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of him, and I think a lot of people are. And just to see him because he's lost so much weight, I want to see what he looks like. I'm curious like that if he's still got it. Plus, him and Bobby Lashley, that's going to be kind of cool. You know what I mean?
I would expect something to happen where Cena has a singles issue leading into the Crown Jewel pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia in November because I can't see Cena not wanting to cash in on that payday that everybody else is getting.
Exactly.
So I think that, originally it was supposed to be Cena and Owens, right? And then they changed it to the tag
Bobby
team match. I'm thinking, and I don't know this is a fact, no one gave me an inside scoop or anything, but to me the common sense says, they got Cena to be able to do Crown Jewel, so they decided to do a tag match first. Not
to get the singles match next.
Yeah, not have him wrestle on Raw or SmackDown, do an angle at the pay-per-view, and then have him do a singles match at crown jewel.
Right.
Whether that happens, I don't know. That's just my semi-educated opinion.
All right, moving on to SmackDown. It was a good show. I mean, I love SmackDown. It's a nice, easy watch. 2 hours. It goes quick. Paige opened it up. Basically, you know, I know it's a segment.
Castrated them right there. I mean, you know, you have two of the great talents of this generation, in AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. And the more angles they do on television with them building up to this match, the less I want to see it.
Right.
It is so boring and unbelievable.
See,
I have no interest in it.
I'm the opposite. I actually do have interest in it, and I'm really, really thinking, are they going to put the title on Joe with all this work? Are they going to do it this Saturday? I mean, they've done a lot of storytelling for this one match.
I wouldn't.
When would you do it?
I don't think Joe.
Oh, so you're saying Joe doesn't get the title at all?
No.
Wow. That's someone I haven't heard that. I've heard that they won't be shocked if they do. I've never heard anybody say that he's not over enough to. Wow. Okay. Hey, that's you know, everybody, like you said, one man's opinion. I mean, I think so.
I think Joe's good. Do I think he's world champion good in WWE?
But I think
no.
now you can have AJ chase or AJ do something else. Joe. I mean, because how long can you have who else would you see as a champion right now?
Well, I think eventually you're going to see a nice Orton and AJ feud for the title. I'd like to see that.
Well, you know, you got to remember you know, okay, let's discuss.
How many new things do they have?
DB and Miz are going to be fighting for that match for the championship. Now, would you rather see Joe and DB or Joe and Miz or AJ DB? That's the way you got to think about it.
I just think you have, as far as title matches that you could put on pay-per-view with AJ that would be somewhat new would be AJ and Bryan, AJ and Miz, AJ and Orton, AJ and Jeff Hardy.
You know how you always talk about free TV? They've already done AJ and DB.
They did that like
SmackDown,
the first week
right.
after they did that stupid draft. The good thing is most people don't even remember about that. Nobody cared the next week. But as far as something that you could give a long-term build, those are four guys off the top of my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I don't think, would it enhance the feud with Joe and AJ to give it some length and longevity to do a title switch? Yeah. But I still think there's a lot AJ could do as champion.
Oh, me too. Like, I'm not going to be mad if AJ holds or anything, but I'm not going to be shocked if Joe wins it.
You want to know another reason why I would be hesitant to have that happen right now is because he's the face of the video game. And I don't think the fans sometimes realize just how important that position is.
Right.
Not only the game, but to be the face of the game.
Right.
So I don't think he'll lose.
Okay.
He'll lose the match, but not the title.
Right, in some fashion. Okay. Truth and Carmella versus Selena Vega and Cialis. What did you think? What did you think? I am so excited.
And you know what? I don't know what it is. I was bored with the guy in NXT, but I think Almas is phenomenal in WWE. I think he's a guy they should develop into a top-tier
he's money
main
all
event
day.
heel.
Money.
I don't know what I see now that I didn't see in NXT.
In
NXT, I was bored with his presentation.
Right.
Just like how some things in NXT never work in WWE.
Right.
Here's a flip of the coin where, to me, I mean, I know he was NXT champion, but I never was excited to see him.
Right.
But now I enjoy when he's on SmackDown TV.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a really good match. I thought it was great.
You know what I didn't like? Because nowadays you have to do male, male, female, female. They were doing the...
Oh, yeah. I know.
To go for the tag, it didn't make any difference if they made
it doesn't
the tag.
matter.
You know what I mean? But, you know, that's just me picking it apart.
You know what?
I liked it. And it's nice that they're doing something.
And the one good thing is the crowd was into it.
Yeah,
they were into it, the match.
yeah.
It was good. It was good to see something.
Yeah.
Truth and Carmella won it. Moving on, we had Ty backstage telling Paige he wanted Randy Orton tonight. And you know what she said? You got him.
You know what the 10 stands for Ty Dillinger now?
What's that?
You know they ring the bell 10 times when someone dies?
Oh.
That's his career right now because he's about as if he didn't have that number involved in his presentation, tell me something of any interest someone would have in seeing him.
Fans,
nothing against the talent. I'm just saying there is nothing to Ty Dillinger other than
people watching this and fans, make sure you give the hatred towards him because that's not me saying. No, I'm talking about the 10 bell salute. You take all that.
Who cares about Ty Dillinger other than saying 10?
Hey, you know what?
If he didn't have 10, there would be crickets during his entrance, just like there were crickets when he wrestles.
Okay. Hey, I'm not going to argue with you, but I don't think it's that bad.
Well, sometimes you got to argue. That's all right.
The New Day came out. We had a New Day segment, and I thought it was me. Now, you're going to hate me on this. I thought it was awful. I am getting sick of this stuff.
It was stupid.
New Day cooks. I mean, this is getting old now. Honestly, I think it's getting old, that they're just trying to do anything and everything.
I don't know what it is about them. I usually hate the comedy stuff. For whatever reason, mostly because of Creed.
What's
Kofi.
his name?
The little guy. Xavier Woods.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Austin Creed is his name.
Yeah.
From when he was in TNA.
Yeah.
That sticks with
No,
me for whatever
Consequence
reason.
Creed.
He does a great job with the comedy stuff more than any of them.
Right.
You know, Kofi, you know what
But
I
you
think
have
of
love
his
'cause of
athletic
Kofi.
ability. I do, and I'm sure I'm biased to a
Right.
degree, but they do a great job with the material they have.
They do.
Even if the material
But
sucks
how long,
a
how
lot
long
of
has
the
this
time.
been going on? You're good with years. How long has this been going on
New
for?
Day?
Yeah.
They became the New Day. Remember, first they were going to be the Black Panthers.
Right. I know that. Well, yeah. But what do you...
Do you remember, you want to know where they took off from with how they morphed into what they are now?
What's that?
If you watch the pre-show from WrestleMania 31 in Santa Clara, they did the usual multi-person tag team
Right.
match. But that was the first time Xavier
did
tried
the-
to do something creative,
Right.
and he beat the mat different.
Yeah.
And the fans started to do New Day Rocks.
No, but...
And then there's that summer progress. They started to realize
Yes.
they maybe was something to it, and they turned them heels, and they became the New Day.
It's been a good
everybody
3
knows
years,
it.
pretty
yeah.
much.
Oh, yeah, a little over
And that's
3
why I
years
think
now.
it's
Yep.
getting stale. I honestly think they need to do something because look what they did with the Shield. They went for a while and then they broke them up. I think
It'd be interesting to see if they put one of them in the singles ranks. I think that would give it a fresh
Big E.
coat of paint.
I
You know
want
what
Big
I mean?
E. I'm a
He-
big
well-
fan of Big E. I think he's money. I think he can cut promos. I think he can wrestle. I think he's money. You know?
Well, of the three, he'd be the one I'd push the least, but that's just my opinion.
Well, you know how you always say believe, but what are you going to push Xavier Woods to Roman Reigns? Hell no.
No, that
You're not going to put Kofi either. I'm talking about someone that can go into...
You know, it's been a while since
But
Big
I'm not
E has
saying,
had
but
that
I don't want
chance.
Big E as a face. I want him as a heel. I want him as a monster heel. Someone that just gets mad.
He didn't impress me in his singles runs. But
He
it's
was
been a
always-
while, and he's
I mean,
got
he
a
was
lot
with
of it.
AJ, and I mean, he was with
Yeah, and Ziggler.
Ziggler. You know, what I mean, he was
But-
never really the front guy.
He's got more experience under his belt now.
Right.
Maybe it would be an improved.
And he's definitely come out
presentation.
of his zone. I mean, he's been cutting good pro. You know what I mean? You know, we'll see.
Let me ask you this, though. With all the foolish things he's done over the past 3 years, would you take him seriously as a heel now?
If he turns on the New Day, yes. If he just comes out.
That might be the way they.
I think if he turns on the New Day, all of a sudden they're just cutting a promo, and he's like, you know, standing there, and all of a sudden just goes roughhouse on him. I mean, beats them.
I'll say this. I don't see that happening because I know from people in the know that they are long-term behind New Day.
Right, obviously. And that's why it's still sticking around. Moving on, we had that big Ty Dillinger 10-10-10 versus Randy Orton match. It was a good match for what it was.
Game at that point.
Yeah, it was a good match. I'll talk about that. It was a good match. I thought the spot with the finger and the turnbuckle was a good visual.
Something so small and so effective.
It was
It
good.
doesn't always have to be the big, wild high spots. Look at how effective Orton has been with a little ear and a finger. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good visual.
I did see it.
And this is great work by Randy. Everything he's doing, anybody he's in, he's having good work with. I love Randy. People don't give him enough credit. He's fantastic.
I don't know how you can say, I think he's a 13-time world champion.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can say a 13-time world champion is underrated, but he's underrated as one of the greats. Outside of the nonsense with Bray Wyatt that we talked about on one of these episodes, I cannot think of any bad matches that guy's ever
No,
had.
and I even
he's
hear-
been a top-tier guy now 15 years.
From listening to podcasts and everything, too, they always talk about Randy doesn't even know how good he is.
So
That's the thing.
smooth.
He is so
Everything
good.
he does is right. His timing, his presence in the ring, his mannerisms, everything he does is right. Is he the most charismatic guy? No, but not everybody has
But
to
he
be
does
the most
enough to
charismatic
make
guy.
you love him. And then there was the Lana Rusev thing with Aiden English. You guys seen it? That describes itself. Just to run it over. He showed a little video clip of him saying Lana wants him, and then he cut it off. And then they, did their little thing. Rusev ran out to back to get him.
If you take this as a compliment, I expected it to be worse.
Well, there you go.
I thought it was kind of creative how they had Lana walk into the hotel room, start to speak, and then cut it when she says, "I want you," fill in the blank.
There you go.
Curious to see what they might do next with it. Again, my worry is, and I'll probably say this every week, is that Aiden English is going to turn into Damian Sandow after they ended the whole Mizdow thing.
We will see.
I don't know where you go with Aiden English.
Moving on, I thought this was the best match of the night, which was second to last match of the night. It was DB versus his guy, Shelton Benjamin, because you were just asking last week, where has he been? And he's there.
Former Millennium Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion, Shelton Benjamin.
It was a good match.
Great man. Hey, how about this? Brian and Shelton both competed here in the MWF again. Yeah, it was a really good match.
It was.
I don't understand why Shelton isn't showcased more. I understand he's not a young lion at this point, but he doesn't wrestle his age, that's for sure.
No, he wrestles great. It was a good match.
As I like to remind my good friend Shelton Benjamin, he is 6 years older than me, but he does not wrestle like an old guy.
No, not at all.
I love watching Shelton. What he does is believable. It has credibility. Is he the world's most charismatic guy? No. But when you go in there, I don't know too many people that don't want to see Shelton wrestle.
Oh, he's fantastic.
That's what I like.
And
that was a great matchup.
And as a TV viewer, I thought The Miz on commentary was gold. He's awesome. The Miz is just so good at everything he does.
How he's evolved since WrestleMania 32. It's amazing.
He's awesome.
During that period, I wouldn't have been shocked if he got released. And what they've done with him since WrestleMania 32 when they brought Maurice back into the picture is amazing. He's taken every opportunity that's been given to him. He hasn't even hit a home run with it. Every opportunity he's been given on their platforms, he hits a grand slam with it. Yeah. And that's why he's making the money he's making right now. And good for The Miz.
Yeah, I loved it. He did good. Benjamin won with The Miz distracting Daniel Bryan with the.
And I was really surprised that Shelton got the pinfall win out of it, just based upon that he really hasn't been used much.
That way they did it. If they ever want to, they can go back to it because, because some we've seen, but you never know. It could build a story later on.
WWE is great to have the same match 6 or 7 weeks in a row.
Right.
So maybe
there we go.
See more of it.
And the highlight of the night for him, which was the biggest match for him, was Asuka versus Peyton Royce. I mean, he's a huge fan of Peyton Royce.
I love Peyton, yeah.
Not much to say. It was an all right match, but Asuka won by submission.
All I can say about Asuka is how the mighty have fallen. Someone that is such a terrific talent has fallen, no pun intended, with our good friend in TNA, but has fallen into the abyss of nothing.
I mean, I'm hoping they can build her up, repackage her, do something, build her up. I don't know what they're going to do.
I told you the storyline where they should have went with Asuka and Ronda Rousey.
He said it last week on that.
Yeah, you know what that is? That's money flushed down the toilet. It's almost like the signs we have here at MWF Studios in the men's room.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever noticed them.
Yeah, don't put paper towels.
Yeah, I understand Cecil the Lion was involved with the toilet scandal, but we won't go there.
We won't do it. That's not for another time.
I can't see without my glasses, but he's not happy.
To end the show was Becky Lynch, did her little thing, had the little poster, and then Charlotte came out, put her through the poster, and that's how they went off the air. It was stopped brawling.
They sure did.
And that was it. And that was SmackDown.
I like that Becky has been presented the way she has.
She's great.
I think some fans go a little overboard saying she's the next Steve Austin, but, it's added a little. Where was she before?
Oh, this has definitely improved, made her something.
She was in Asuka's position, over, but in no man's land.
And then we're going to go quick. I know you didn't watch it, but the Mixed Match Challenge, for the people that are watching, I love it. The crowd's entertaining. The crowd loves it. So that's all that matters. Bayley and Finn versus Alicia Fox, Jinder Mahal. Bayley and Finn won. And then we had Naomi and Jimmy versus Lana and Rusev, and Naomi and Jimmy won. And that's it. And that was the week of wrestling. We had the headlines. We had Raw, SmackDown. It was a good week this week.
And ratings that are atrocious.
They're atrocious. The man up in Denver, Colorado, who should be back in WWE writing, I think so, would help out this product a ton. But that's just one man's opinion. Stolen a quote from you.
I didn't think Raw was all that bad. I know I picked it apart an awful lot, but I sat through it and didn't want to change the channels.
I thought it was good too, but I think having that kind of writing back in it, more people would be watching. But that's me.
Too much Shield.
Too much Drew.
Too much of that heel faction.
Yeah, too much.
Once a week is more than enough, believe it or not. Not 6 times a week.
That's right.
And again, I think that's. Imagine if they took even one of those segments and invested it in a guy that's not on TV much.
Right.
Like Tyler Breeze, a guy that is, I think, a fantastic talent.
Oh, he's
that they have nothing but piss on. Mm-hmm. And again, he's making a very healthy living doing it, but could he be used in a different way to get more value for him and more value for the company, a more enjoyable TV show? Absolutely. And what is he doing?
I'd see a guy like...
6 Shield segments, and you don't have Tyler Breeze on. The one thing I'll always give credit to about your buddy Vince Russo, he was able to come up with something for everybody, and everybody was over.
Right.
Everybody was over in that period.
I mean, also I like a Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins. I think those are guys that could be doing something. I mean, not saying anything about something, but they're not. And it's just whatever. But like I said, that was the week of wrestling.
It's boring, and that's why their ratings are so bad right now. I can only hope that
now we're getting out of the month of
October.
October.
Some sort of creative infusion that gets shot into them, and they just present it different, so it doesn't feel like I'm watching the same show on rerun every week.
Yeah.
Nothing for Finn. They have nothing for him other than come out and hug Bayley.
Yeah.
Please, don't even get these.
And give you the smile.
All right. Fans, we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we're going to wrap up this week's Wrestling Insiders. Check out what's going on with some of our great friends in WWE. They're all over New England this month. NXT's got a big tour in the Midwest that they let us know about. Check it out. We'll be back to wrap up the show.
It's such a good vibration. It's such a sweet sensation. You're such a...
Owensboro on Saturday, October 13th. Feel the thrill of NXT Live with some of the hottest NXT superstars up close and in action. See Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, Shayna Baszler, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, EC3, and many more live. Don't miss the show that everyone's talking about. It's NXT Live in Owensboro on Saturday, October 13th. Tickets are available.
Ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats. Who, you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more. The Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. Available now online or wherever books are sold.
It's the biggest event in live entertainment.
Welcome to WrestleMania!
But it doesn't come together overnight. Now, we've chronicled the journey of this incredible in-depth look at the year-long life cycle of WWE's biggest event. Go behind the scenes and get the inside stories straight from some of WWE's biggest superstars with exclusive candid interviews you won't find anywhere else. Creating the Mania, an inside look at how WrestleMania comes to life. Available now.
Portland on Saturday, October 20th.
Burn it down!
Experience WWE Live with an epic main event as Dean Ambrose returns to team up with Seth Rollins as they take on Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre in a tag team match. Plus, the B-Team and the Revival collide for the Raw Tag Team Championship. And don't miss Finn Balor and many more. It's WWE Live in Portland, Saturday, October 20th. Tickets and VIP packages are available.
Wrestling fans, October the 19th, Mr. USA Tony Atlas is back, the Hall of Famer, the man that on Memories and Legends the fans are getting to enjoy in a whole new way. Again, Tony Atlas interviews are not interviews, they turn into an adventure. Almost like with you on Tinder, I guess.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm on Tinder. Make sure you swipe right if you see me, please.
Please.
Any women.
You got to feed
Thank
the
you.
ego.
Yeah.
Well, or in Cecil's case, sometimes the guys, but that's a different story. Different time. Check out BostonWrestling.com and the Indiegogo. I think this Hasbro card is tremendous. I think it's a great collectible.
It's awesome.
I don't know. That's just me. I was a big fan of the Hasbro cards. When I was a kid, we got some great...
And he doesn't just make Tony Atlas because you're
no, he'll make anybody.
He make anybody. Just so you guys know, if you do chase him on Facebook and ask him, yeah. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, we gave everybody the plugs. We got WWE all over the place. We got Bruce Pritchard coming to town to Kowloon.
I can't wait.
We got a little bit of everything in New England. We mentioned Ring of Honor comes to Lowell and Lewiston, Maine in November. Again, we like to keep things usually based in the Northeast, even if a lot of our commercials are for WWE events that are nowhere near us. That's part of the fun of the Millennium Wrestling Federation. We're friends with everyone. We want everyone to do well, and we want everybody to be nice to us.
And we want to do well, too.
Memories and Legends Friday, Tony Atlas shoots on George Steele, Jimmy Snooker, and Bobby Heenan, almost an hour and a half long. Tony doesn't hold back with the good and the bad. I had a lot of fun watching it because to try and save on costs, we have to tape multiple episodes when Tony comes to town. And this one, I think we taped in July.
Wow.
But I forgot a lot of the content, so it was almost like I watched it again for the first time. And the word of the week next week will be embedgerin'.
Okay.
Embedgerin'.
No
the
idea
answer to the trivia question. Who was going to be Austin's first pay-per-view heel opponent in 1998?
I came up with an answer as Mark Merrow was wrong,
Not
as
even
you could
close.
see. But you go ahead.
Earthquake.
Oh, my God, John Tinta.
Who, if you remember, in 98 was Golga after they decided.
I didn't think that right
after they decided
at all.
against the plan of
so John Tinta
Earthquake
was
Austin.
okay.
It was going to be.
Wow.
Instead, we got Dude
So what
Love.
were they trying to do? Like, it was Hogan and Earthquake, then they were trying to get the next big star to be Stone Cold and Earthquake?
Vince was going to be his manager, or be with Earthquake to feud with
Wow.
Austin.
Well, I'm glad that didn't happen either.
Well, we got Golga.
All right, we got Golga.
That was
With Cartman.
I'll tell you
wearing
one
a big
thing.
leather mask.
You would not believe how young of a guy he was. He looked like he was in his 50s in the late 80s. He was only a young kid. He was only in his early 20s.
Right. He's always looked old.
But it worked. Yeah. I don't know if it would have worked if they went the route of Austin and Earthquake, though. His first run at WWE was very good, but that's a different story for a different time. So if anyone ever asks you, geez, I wonder who WWE would have had Austin work with if it wasn't Dude Love in 1998, well, now you know the answer to that. John Tenta, Earthquake.
There we go.
All right, for David Carter, I'm Dan Marotti. Join 50,000 plus of your friends at MWF Project X on Twitter. Subscribe to get over 2,000 free videos at youtube.com/BostonWrestlingCom. Don't miss Memories and Legends this weekend. Make sure you find a way to be part of the Tony Atlas experience October the 19th. Until we speak again, send us some feedback on this show, WWE, Super Showdown, and everything else going on in the world of wrestling. You and yours, be well.